that Barbara Jo asked us the last time we were here. She asked whether or not, do you have your media kit together? You know, so if somebody was to ask you, do you have it? And most of us said no. For one, we weren't exactly sure what she was referring to. And then when she explained, you know, this has your bio, this has your anything that everybody would need to know about you so that they can hire you. Mm-hmm. So who are interested in what you're doing. And so we do, you know, then I was like, oh yeah, I got one of those. But you know, I wasn't exactly sure at the time what she was meaning by that. But this is what this meeting is all about. We figured Monique actually came up with the idea. Let's go ahead and let's do the press kit time. So, Monique.
How to create a professional press kit in 8 easy steps. Altogether, there are 5 handouts in here. Okay. And my favorite is the Writer's Digest. I love their publications. I've been using them for 100 years in different forms or another, and now they're online, so you can just go in there and pull off all kinds of articles and whatever, all it pertaining to writing. You know, so this first article came from the Writer's Digest, and it is a simple thing, but most people don't have it. It's like having your writer's resume ready to be presented to whoever needs it at the time. I had my profile deleted off of the TAM webpage per my request because I couldn't edit it the way I wanted it to edit, so I figured I'll just take it off and start all over again. But I haven't done that yet. Because I said I'm gonna, when I put it up back, I'll put it back the right way. And one of the things for the writer's kit, for your press kit, it says the first thing you need to do is make a bio. How many of you all have your bio written? If you're already published, you probably already have it written, and don't even know it, because I had the book published with, and I didn't know I could use that as my bio. I just thought it was something to put on the back of the book, but it's actually your bio. And as it turns out, in case anybody doesn't know this, but I'm shy. Not even. I just don't like talking about me. So I had a very difficult time writing my bio, and I just couldn't get it done. And Sylvia helped me, and it was just like pulling teeth. I was like a little kid, oh, I don't want to do this, this is so hard, you know. But she kept doing it, and we finally got 3 sentences that we could use, and that's what I've used on the back of my books, you know, and I've used it over and over and over for my bio.
Gotta update it.
But I've used it over and over and over, and it does have to be updated because it is a resume, and like any resume, it has to be customized to the position that you are applying for, and so it does have to be updated. But right now, it's working for me the way it is. And so I'm going to keep it for just a little bit longer and add some more information as needed, because since it was written, I've done a couple more things since then that need to be on there. So yes, and so this is how, you know, your contact information should include your full name, your email address, your phone number, your website, links to social media like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, etc. I am horrible at Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. I don't like them. However, I learned that they are necessary evils. And I don't spend a lot of time on them unless somebody says, did you see such and such a thing? And then I'll go on there and then I'll post a few things, you know, just to be social. Because I don't want to just go on there when I've got, okay y'all, I got a new book out, you know, who's going to appreciate that? I would not appreciate it, because I hate people who the only time you see them is when they want you to buy something from them. You know, that's so annoying, you know, and it's kind of rude. And I feel like the same way as social media, if you be friendly, show yourself friendly, and that's scripture, you know, if you want friends, you have to first show yourself friendly. So be friendly and go on there and socialize a little bit. And then the next information that you need to have is a picture of yourself. Again, I'm shy. I don't like putting pictures of myself out there, but it's necessary. So put your bio, and on page 6 of here, there's a young lady who wrote an article, and there's her picture, and this is her bio. I mean, it's a very simple, it's not a whole page even. You take the picture off, you got a quarter of a page, you know, so, but it's her information that is current, up to date, and useful. And so she's easy to find. So you need to have a picture included in your bio. The next thing is your book cover. Put a picture in your press kit. Include a picture of your book cover. A full size, and I would do it as a full size picture. The other thing that's important is the quality of paper that you use in a hard copy press kit. You have standard printer paper here. Everybody's got it. You buy it in bulk at Walmart, but the paper that Sylvia printed the agendas on today is a little better quality. And I've got even better quality paper than this at Walmart, of all places. You get it in stationery. And then, of course, if you want to go even higher, you can go Office Depot, or you can get it online. But, you know, put it on a nice quality paper if you're doing a hard copy. And if not, and also remember, build a file on your computer for all the stuff. Keep it in there, so when somebody asks for it, you can just send them the file. And then you got all your information there. Okay, but in there, on mine, I've got the picture up front, on the front, and then on the back side, I've used that as my title page. You know, where I've got the title of the book, the authors, the publication date, the ISBN number, the price, where you can get it at, what genres it is, but it's all right there. Picture, information. And then the other thing is, when you're writing these press kits, if you're going to send it to the press, they want as much work done for them as possible. They want to look at it and go, oh, everything's here. We'll go ahead and use hers. But if they say, oh, this is, I don't know what this is, I mean, your chances are getting published or putting them using your press kit is probably none. And in this world where there's so many people who are writing, so many people are promoting themselves for various reasons, you want to be the one that stands out. Mm-hmm. And so for the press, it's who's the easiest. I mean, it looks interesting and it's already practically done for me. All I've got to do is, you know, put my name to it and send it up. This one I've got to work really hard at and put, you know, her information together and make it sound reasonable and coherent. Who do you think is going to get it done? Which one do you think they will pick? And so it's important that you make yours stand out above everybody else's and that you do most of the work yourself. So when they get it, it's like, okay, it's done. The other thing I found out that a lot of press people are wanting is interesting taglines. I don't have an interesting tagline. I'm working on it. But I was trying to think, what are interesting taglines that I've heard recently or in the past, and I could only come up with two. One was be afraid, be very afraid. And I was like, I don't know who said it, but I still remember that.
Yes.
You know, so whenever something comes up, you go, and I've used that, oh, be afraid, be very, very afraid. Mm-hmm. You know, so it's an interesting tagline. The other one I can't start remembering is one I just heard recently. It says, winter is coming. Yeah. And that's from Game of Thrones, and they live in the north, and their big thing, winter's coming. And in life, you know, you can use that for something else. But think of a tagline that's interesting that will go with your story. And that way you can promote it. And the other thing is, remember to keep it short. I mean, it can be a whole sentence, or it can be just a few words thrown together. But they said to keep it, remember Twitter. Twitter only allows you to use 140 characters. And so anything longer than that is too long. Okay? And then be sure to include sales copy. Sales copy, okay, well, that's marketing taglines. And let's see what else we got here. Interview resources. Make a list of questions that you would be interested in having asked about your book. write them down, and answer your own questions. And you can include that as a Q&A page in your press kit. You can talk about your book better than anybody else. You know the interesting points, the points that are going to sell, that you feel can sell the book better than anybody else. So if you develop your own list of questions, you can ask that question and work it in there. And make it 5 questions, 10 questions, whatever it's going to take, but no more than 1 page. I mean, if you can get 10 questions on here, good. If you can get 20 questions on here, good. But if you can only get 7 questions on here, that's okay too. But have the questions that are most relevant to what you want to convey in your story. You know, it's a horror book, but it's also a love story or whatever it is. You know what you want to say about your book. This book is about my children and how they were all separated and they all got back together. You may not know that until you really get into the book, but you can put it up front and out there by doing your own questions and answers. And then for a press release, you have to consider your press release to be a 1-page pitch of everything in your press kit. It should be a target specific and include all the relevant information that both readers and book buyers need. And if you can afford it, get it done professionally. If you can't do it, can't afford to pay somebody to do it, write your own press release. A press release is very important when you're releasing your book. Again, it's something that would have to be submitted to a newspaper or to the radio station or to a group, a book club or whatever, but you want to, again, give the information that is relevant to your book. And if you're going to do a hard copy, remember to include all of this stuff in paper and your hard copy, and remember to put it all in your file on your computer. The format that they want you to use is a PDF for the press kit. That makes it easier to distribute through the email and upload onto blogs and websites. And if you're printing it, and you can either print it and have it to hand out to people. If someone wants to know about your book, do you have a segment of your book ready to hand out to them? You don't have time to talk right now. What do you have? I'm interested in your book, Taj. I don't have time to read it right now, but do you have something I can take with me? Have a copy of a chapter or two or a segment that stands on its own that really would capture someone's interest. I mean, if you want to do chapter 1, okay. If you want to do chapter 1 to 3, go ahead and do that. But if you just got one segment in there that's like, that all fits on one page and it has from start, middle, and ending, and it's really good, and everybody tells you that one scene is really good, put that in there. It doesn't have to be the first part of the book. It can be the very ending of the book. It can be in the middle of the book. But you're putting your best foot forward in this. And keep in mind, the people who are requesting it, it's just information that's going to help them. So keep the format simple and the font simple. Fancy font gets lost when people are reading. If they read too much, a full page of vampire script, it's hard to read. That's why books are still written in plain old simple, basic fonts. Nothing fancy, just basic fonts so that you can read it. And again, the young lady who did her press release, she even talks about the classes that she took, and how she set up her own publishing company. I mean, anything that's going to make you stand out above anybody else, that's the information that you need to put in there. And then the next handout says, it's 3 steps to a successful press kit, but in each one of these steps, there's like 4 things that you need to do. But one of the things that it says, it talks about, is sending the information out. When you send your information out, you have to make sure that it is timely. I wrote the first, a vampire tale, and I put it I did my press release and I put it out in May, talking about a vampire tale. However, and I probably won't get a whole lot of response, but if I put it out October 1st, it's timely for the book, it's timely for what's happening all around, and so I think I would get a better response in October for this book, as opposed to this other book. October 1st, I'm talking about The Forgotten Art of Being a Lady. Well, yeah, that's nice, but I think I would get a better response putting it out in May, close to Mother's Day. So somebody else could say, it's for their daughter, and what mother doesn't want to think of their daughter being a nice little young lady? You know, so every month, there's a website where you can put in a holiday, what holidays are there. You know, if you got a book that's about green flowers or your green thumb, St. Patrick's Day may be the time to put it out, or Mother's Day. But try to tie what you're putting out into what's happening around other people. He said Juneteenth for his next book. Well, Juneteenth, I didn't know what Juneteenth was until I came down south. But it's a big thing down here, so Juneteenth would be a perfect time to be on the shoulders of giants. You know, that would be a perfect time. Or why the pool closed. You know, that's not only summertime, but out of school and Juneteenth. And so try to tie your information in with what's happening locally or globally. If you're writing something and it's happening in India, and it's big news of what's happening in India, you go, wow, my story is about India too. So try to put them together as much as you can. You know, you're an author, you're creative, put your creative spin on things, and that can bring it together and make it beneficial to you. And the simplest thing to remember when writing a press release is the who, what, when, where, why, and how. If you answer all of those questions, you should have the basic body for a press release. What's happening? I'm releasing a book. Who's releasing a book? Monique, Bowden, guys. You know, where's she releasing the book at? This place. I'm going to have the book signing here, there, and the other place. Give the information out as relevant and as simple as it can be. All this information, even though it sounds like a lot of work, it's really half a page of information, if it's that much. So we have to keep it to the short, to the point, and you make your writing clean and crisp. As clean and crisp as possible. When editors look at a piece, he or she is thinking from the first second about how long it's going to take to get to the point. If your work is full of errors, lacking content, or just needs to be revised, they're not going to waste their time. So make sure to have good grammar, all the basics, and have something to write about. So that's basically, in all of this, make it as simple and to the point as possible. We're going to write our own bios. That's our activity for the day, to write our bios, and Sylvia's going to handle that.
The first part of it is make sure that there's no more than 2 paragraphs in it. You know, again, when you're looking at the back of a book, or when you're trying to sell yourself, you do kind of, you know, you want it to be short and simple, because a lot of times they don't want to read all that a long bio. But there are reasons to do a longer bio, but just to grab their attention, a shorter bio is better. So no more than 2. Convey the information in the briefest way possible. Write down what writing you've done. How long have you been writing? Include any awards you've earned and any notable projects you've worked on. So that's some of what goes into the bio. Put in your personal life, you know, if you're married with children, and sometimes depending on what you're writing about, even your pet. You might be writing a book about animals, and you want to put that in there. But that shows that you're human. So you're personal. That gives them an idea that you're relatable to them. Put in where you grew up, or or hobbies specifically to what the book is about, mostly. Or your writing style, what you normally write. So my hobbies of going to Disney World would be good for the children's stories, because people relate to that. Oh, my child would want to go to Disney World too, or oh, I want to go to Disney World. Examine the list of personal information. Start with the most important detail. Use this as a springboard to others bolstering your reputation. Then finish up with 1 or 2 sentences about personal information. There's different types of bios, and you have to decide what's the most important thing that you want to put. Now, what we did for Monique, or what I did for Monique, is the fact that since it was so hard to pull anything out of her, I had her to write down all of her accomplishments. Where she is from, what school she went to, where did she graduate, what's her degree in, when did she start writing, how long has she been writing, does she have any children, how many children she has. We wrote all of this down, and then we went back and edited. And we edited to those 2 paragraphs so that we would make, so it would be put together in a way where people could understand who she is. So, sometimes you might have to do that. You might have to just go out there and just, write down everything, and then edit back the most important things. And of course, as a bio, this also goes into the press kit. So, like if you're an expert in something, if you're writing for a, I don't know, Taj, the academic, was that on, it wasn't on dance or anything. You said you wrote an academic book or something like that?
Oh, professional development.
It's professional development. So
yeah.
Then her bio in that particular situation would be everything that would give her, that says that she knows what she's talking about in the book. So it just all depends on the on where your bio is going to be located. So now this is, I also have a handout that says how to write an author, about the author box. Now that's one that I'm just now working on, since I'm trying to publish a book. So there's always that about the author. It pretty much is about, it's about the same thing. It says decide the purpose. See if you're an expert. Link to your webpage. That's one thing I did not mention, is make sure that you have a link to your webpage so they can go and find out other information about yourself. Also the Twitter, the Instagram, all of that. If you have all of that information, then that's what you need to put in your bio, of course at the end though. Make sure that you write information that's relevant to your story or article. Show you as an expert. Again, back to the expert. Writing credits, what you want your readers to remember when they hear your name. Do you want them to remember you by your book? Make sure that whatever you're writing there, you want them for you to stand out. And then of course there's the marital status, the number of children, the pets, the hobbies, kind of the same thing. If you have a unique writing style, like if you're a humorist, write it in a humor type of way, one of the examples that it shows here is Norman Langford grew up spying on neighbors and taking notes in a little black book. No surprise that he ended up writing spy novels. So if you have something like that, being that you're writing the sci-fi fantasy, there could be something in your background that you loved Star Wars, Star Trek, whatever it was, that that could be something that you would put in there. And this is a more of an academic one. Dr. Laura Smith has been writing on gender studies for over 20 years. Her research interests include mothering, gender roles, and media representation of women. So that one's more of an academic of, this is of that type of book. So if you haven't written a bio, this is a good time to do it.
thank you for coming out. I hope that this information is of use to you and that you'll be able to use it as you create your bios and your press kits and as you further your writing careers.